Hi, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Academy. I'll tell you a little bit about the Academy before we get started. It's a set of content built for value-based care organizations to get smart about the world they occupy, the reimbursement models around them. And in this particular Academy, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about new entrant ACOs that are in performance year 2024, just getting started, and a number of pathways they can find to find success pretty early in their journey. A little bit about us, if you're new to Acclivity Health in general. We've got a number of customers across all 50 states. We're really focused on data, how the contracts work within Medicare, delivering your model of care, building a network, focused on advanced illness. And when we take our approach in the market, whether it's MSSP or the direct contract entities that are now called ACO Reach, we have a significant track record of driving value out of those organizations in their approach to care. In MSSP worlds, it looks like about a 60% greater than the average net savings per patient. When you move into double-sided risk under the ACO Reach model, it's 2.2 times. And that success largely comes from the ability to operate as a third platform. In healthcare, there have been two platforms before the build of what we call the third platform. The first was the revenue cycle side, so the business side of healthcare, which was really started in the late 70s. The second we now know is the electronic health record, which really took its first, iterative steps in the 1980s. But the reality is the third platform has to take advantage of those first two platforms being able to consume claims and clinical data, largely to resolve for the things that are typical problems and challenges that you face, whether you're starting your ACO for the first time, you've left a bigger ACO with enough of your participants to have your own ACO, you're going to face these problems. How do you understand which patients are on their way up on the risk life cycle? How do you deal with staffing shortages? How do you manage attribution and network? How do you build a set of attributes about a patient that can define pathways and improve your model of care? How do you watch quality and really understand what good outcomes look like? And then how do you consistently ratchet up your efficiency and intensity where appropriate each year to create new models of success, as the benchmark often will lower the more you achieve. We recognize that you may play any number of roles depending upon whether you're in a fully employed stack or if you have a network of heterogeneous practices that have come together to build your ACO. And we play as an organization across the risk-bearing entity, in this case, the ACO for the new start ACOs, across the 10 or the group level, and then across the individual MPIs, such that you can have the best visibility, the most clarity, and the most silver-eyed view of every patient and across the population as a whole. When you're thinking about a new start ACO, you'll recognize that this little timeline here is a Medicare asset. There's a lot of work that has to get done in January and February. So if you're thinking about what you have to do with this risk-bearing level, it's largely aligning the beneficiaries and the provider alignment rosters to the clinical claims line item detail that come across in late January or in early to mid-February. You've got to do that alongside of being able to literally build out your approach to having insights from the population and contract level at the ACO level. You have to do it in making quick decisions about what are you going to provide as actual insights down to the groups that are, rolling up as participants underneath your ACO. And then where possible, you have to decide what support are you going to provide, if any, to the providers that are literally under the covers of these TENs that are participating in your risk for the performance year. And if you just think about those things, you can start to distill, okay, what are the models of care that would be the most successful at the ACO level, at the participant level, and even all the way down to the point of care clinician level. And we, would distill that data you get from Medicare as claims line items into, is the risk really a problem here with resource utilization? Is it a problem with medication utilization and compliance? Is it a problem with the level of frailty in the patient population? Is it a problem with the ability to serve the advanced illness population? Is it a problem with your network being immature and you have to actually, diminish the cost around your participants? Is it obviously those costs can include, things like readmission rates that need to be managed because the second hospitalization is 3 to 4 times more expensive than the initial one? Are there going to be the potential of long-term ICU stays? Is there a skilled nursing problem where that cost is overrunning the market? Those are the kind of things you got to get started on right away. This is an introductory level course because the reality of what we do as the Academy is we have a whole host of content like this video driven, where we have myself and other organizations bring their subject matter experts to the table and talk you through how you might find real success long-term in successful outcomes, both clinically and financially, when participating in risk. If you have questions, especially as the new Entrant ACOs start to manage all of this influx of data, all of this, critical steps to success and early footprints on the path toward long-term success, reach out to us at any time at info@acclivityhealth.com. Thanks, and talk to you soon.